Hey guys, bothersome truth. So I'm watching the DNC convention and I'm feeling all kind of emotions. I'm all in my emotions right now because, you know, we have a lot of people who claim that they were for specific positions when in actuality they're just ideologues, or they're at the very least they follow sort of an authoritarian mindset and they just blindly follow leaders, just idols and stuff. And so we have some people who claim, first of all, I want to give a thumbs up and a shout out to all of you Bernie supporters who are out there who said, in spite of Bernie's endorsement of Hillary Clinton, I'm still going to stand my convictions and my virtues, and I'm going to continue to revolt and advocate for my policy positions in spite of the fall of an idol. Because it's not about idols, it's not about figureheads, it's not about little figurines or playing a part in this theater, in this farce. It's about the positions, it's about the policies. Someone had the audacity to tell me that it's not about the policy position things. Like, listen, this is respectfully, because I do like you. It's about the policies. It's absolutely about the policies. Because those are the things that change. Because policies change things, right?
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
We're seeing a great many supporters shift their position. But we're also seeing a lot of Bernie supporters standing in solidarity for their convictions on the issues. And I want to applaud those people. I think they're marvelous. I think you're great. I think you should continue booing. The mainstream media is trying to make sure that they filter out as much as they can, any kind of dissent of within the Democratic Party. Why? Because they want to project unity. Why? Because the Democratic Party is entangled with the mainstream media. Why? Because their donors, Comcast, Time Warner, is the parent company of the mainstream media. That's right, the DNC is owned by, the mainstream media is owned by Time Warner, Comcast, News Corp, all of those places. And guess what? Those are major contributors to the DNC. They're also major contributors to the Clinton Foundation. So wouldn't the Clintons have some kind of a stake in ensuring that they project some kind of solidarity and uniformity going forward in the general election? Probably. Does that kind of represent a little bit of corruption? Yeah, sort of. Just a little bit. So that's what we're dealing with. And those guys are fighters. The people that are standing up to the system, the people that are saying, forget it. We had an opportunity to elect a candidate who defeats Donald Trump. Not necessarily against Donald Trump. I'm saying that they had an opportunity to defeat Donald Trump by double digits. And still, in spite of that, the DNC chose to rig the system. We have proof. Chose to rig the system in favor of the Clintons. Right? In spite of the evidence. So now they're clamoring about trying to get every Bernie supporter that they can because they realize they can't win the election with this candidate because it's a horrible candidate. And no one wants to vote for her because she's in a statistical tie with the person that they feared to begin with. Yes, Hillary Clinton is now in a close race statistical tie nationally with Donald Trump. I think the polls have them at 47, 42, or even less than that. I think it's like 46, 49. It's within the margin of error. So, I mean, self-fulfilling prophecy, would you? So, that's what they're dealing with. So they're clamoring about, they're trying to force Bernie Sanders supporters to endorse her. They try to take down one of their leaders, which was Bernie Sanders. And now they're trying to shame Bernie Sanders supporters into voting for her. Listen, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because you guys don't get it. It's about the issues. It's not because she's a woman. It's not because she has a vagina. It's because her policies suck for the working class, for the common folk, for the people. Her policies are terrible. Her policies are contingent upon exacerbating big government, which doesn't actually reflect the interests of the people. Her policies are contingent upon corrupt money in politics. That's their entire framework, is based on doing favors for big multinational corporations so they can rig the market in their favor against small businesses and entrepreneurs. That's the basis of Hillary Clinton. The epitome of Hillary Clinton is taking millions upon millions upon millions, and she can't help it, of campaign contributions from these big multinational corporations and industrial complexes like the prison industrial complex, in order to rig the market in their favor. So she votes against policies like legalizing marijuana, which she's against. She's against legalizing narcotics, because pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, for instance, and you can actually see this in the DNC leaks, but the pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, for instance, are against prohibition. Because why? It empowers you. Because if you are able to start your own firm, and innovate your own products that outcompetes theirs, well, then their shit is going to be off the shelf, because marijuana actually solves many of the issues, the medical problems that we have today, better than what they're providing you in prescription drugs. Do you think that they want marijuana to be legalized because of that? Do you think that they want you concocting your own compound medications by legalizing narcotics? Fuck no. They would rather put you in chains. So that's what we're dealing with. So when you ask them to support a candidate who will literally advocate for policies, like for instance, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter deals with unaccountable government, right? All of the police shootings, all of the people that are, the mass incarcerations, right? All of that is a consequence of a lack of accountability in government, lack of transparency in government. The people that are funding her campaign, the people that fund her directly, are the people that create those laws. They're the people that they pass those laws to benefit. For instance, the prison industrial complex, well, they gotta need prisoners. So guess where they go in order to get their prisoners? Black people. Black people, right? So the war on drugs with the pharmaceutical companies, they gotta keep drugs prohibited, right? So what do they do in order to keep drugs prohibited? They make laws. Where do they enforce those laws? Black people, right? So a Black Lives Matter member, hopefully, will never advocate for a Clinton, because they are the very people that are putting us in chains behind bars. So, yeah, kudos to you guys. I wanted to talk about Sarah.
Can I just say, to the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous.
I really liked Sarah Silverman. Like, Sarah Silverman, she was awesome. Yeah, I like, oh, that's a nice Jewish lady. She's okay. Sarah Silverman poking and prodding Bernie Sanders supporters with their being ridiculous remark that she made. Oh, dude, you don't get it. You don't get it. And I think it's because, I'm going to use this phrase, and I know people aren't going to like it. I think it's because you're white privilege. I don't think you understand what the majority of people in this country go through on a daily basis. And when I say white privilege, that doesn't only mean white people are affected by it. I'm saying her as a rich, white, privileged female in her position of power makes her incapable of empathizing with the concept that trickle-down lack of accountability affects minorities in a very different way than someone of her stature does, right? So she doesn't get it, and she demonstrates that. Because if you're saying that they're ridiculous because they're demanding that we actually address our environmental concerns, right? If you're saying that they're ridiculous because they're demanding that we have a public option, or better than that, single-payer health care, they're ridiculous if they demand that. If you're saying that they're ridiculous because they want money out of politics so that government represents them and not just a small elite class of financiers, sorry, Sarah, you're ridiculous. And I think anyone else who shares your belief system is ridiculous. I think the entire DNC is being ridiculous. I think you're just not being very fair. So we have to be more open to conversation. And I think the DNC will be very open to conversation once they lose in November. Bothersome truth.